Afternoon, Dean. How are you?
Afternoon. I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Good, not bad, thank you.
Good.
You're coming towards the end of what was dubbed a defining run of games, Derby onwards. Despite the way the West Brom game ended, you must be incredibly positive with how it's gone.
Yeah, I am. I mean, because in my head we should have had 6 wins out of 6. On the balance of chances against Nottingham Forest, we should have won that game. And everybody saw the West Brom game, and having had seen their equalising goal at the end again, we all know we should have had 3 points there as well. So, our performance levels have been really right up there. And as I said before, it was a real tough period of games that we had coming up. Teams that were above us, teams challenging in that top 6, and we've come through it really well.
Obviously, Tammy Abraham had a few chances to put the West Brom game to bed. Putting that to one side, is it not the mark of a potentially very, very good striker that he didn't hide afterwards, always looking for opportunities, always looking for chances to score that next goal?
Yeah, I think that's his character. We all know, I think, he can score goals in this league. He's done it before, he's proven that, and he's doing it again. He's got 11 goals, I think, is it, so far this season. And he'll go on and keep getting chances, because that's the type of player he is. He's a very good player. And he'll be as disappointed, and he apologised to the players in his dressing room after the game for missing, the big chance. But it's a team game. We attack together, we defend together, and we'll continue to do that. And I can honestly say there was no players who were blaming him for the result on Friday.
A few players on the team news list, if we could ask you about them. Jack Grealish.
Yeah, he's struggling for Saturday. He's had a shin injury. Doesn't help being the most fouled player at times in this league, getting kicked from pillar to post, and it's finally worked for some of the teams in the league. So it's one that we're going to have to assess and make sure he's right, because I don't want to risk anything, certainly long term with him. So we'll give him as much time as he needs to get back.
Neil Taylor, I think, came off against
Yeah,
West
no,
Brom.
Tails is out. He's got the hamstring injury, which he picked up at West Brom last week, so he's going to be a couple of weeks.
January transfer window, obviously you're not going to go into specifics with us, but are you looking to be active, and if so, is it likely to be more minor surgery than major surgery? Yeah,
no, we're definitely looking to be active. I think most clubs who want to be competing are going to be active, and we will ourselves. So, but for me, it will be minor surgery, as you say, because I think the performances have shown there's not an awful lot wrong with this football club and the playing squad. I just think we need to improve in certain areas.
To this weekend in the first team, obviously Stoke City, what are you expecting from them?
A tough game. They're on unbeaten run. I think it's 8 games unbeaten. I went to watch the game with my wife last week against Ipswich, and I think Gary came out and said after it wasn't a classic game by any means, and conditions weren't great either, cold, miserable, and the game didn't really warm us up too much. But they're on a good run. They've got some really good players, and it'll be a tough game. And it looks like one of the unbeaten records might go, and I'm hoping it's Stoke City's. We've got players capable of going and scoring goals, and we have to make sure that our performance levels are there, and they will have to be against a team that was in the Premier League last year. Cheers, thank you.
Dean, first off, crazy afternoon. Can you give us your thoughts about the game as a whole?
Yeah, I thought it was a very scrappy game, if I'm honest. I don't think there was any sustained pressure from either team. Both cancelling each other out. I've seen Stoke's last 2 or 3 games, and that's as well as they've played. And sometimes we have to accept that, that we're going to be a big scalp, and teams will up their game when they play us. And they did that today. Stopped us playing at times. And you have to give them credit for that. I don't think there's an awful lot of quality out there. I'm disappointed, obviously, with both their goals and how we conceded them. I felt we allowed it into wide areas too easy and allowed too many crosses. Joe Allen's finished it well. Guinea tries to block him off when he should probably just drop into the space where it's going into. And we don't deal with McLean well enough. Almar gets out there and shows him in rather than just delaying him, and they win a penalty, which was the correct decision. But I'm pleased for Jonathan Kodjia. He was playing really well, and arrested him. And El Ghazi took his chance and has done really well. And the conditions didn't probably suit El Ghazi today. And Kodjia's gone on. He's won a penalty, correct decision as well, and scored a header as well. So, although we weren't at our best today, he certainly showed a lot of character to keep coming back.
Was the draw a fair result?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think either team did enough to win the game. There was chances at both ends, but not massive chances. So we're disappointed that because we know we can play an awful lot better. We weren't quite. We got in the first half. We got into really good areas, but never quite produced the sort of balls that we were after. We wanted to play balls in behind their 2 centre halves. If we played them aerially into them, then they would head it all day long because that's what they're good at. And our quality wasn't quite there in the first half. Second half was a little bit better. We certainly with the balls into the box. But as I say, the conditions were certainly a leveller. Us being at home, and them conditions are like a summer's day in Stoke, so became a big leveller for them.
As you said, goals for both teams, chances for both teams. Kodjia came on, made a big difference, didn't he, as you alluded to earlier?
He did, yeah, because I didn't think the game was. We weren't creating too many great chances at that time. So we had to change it a little bit, and we did, and he came on and certainly done that.
He's had to be a bit patient, as again you mentioned earlier, but how much quality has he got to come off that bench?
Yeah, no, he's done really well. He's done really well, and he's, I decided to rest him, and as I say, El Ghazi took his chance, and that's what I want. I want the players to be pushing each other to go and play, and Kodjia's pushing, and he's pushing as well. So I want them to give me food for thought in terms of changes, and they've certainly done that.
Free-flowing football all of the time, but how much did the courage and determination and desire to come back twice impress you?
Yeah, it really did, and we could easily have then say stick and change the substitution because we were just about to bring Scotty on. I went, no, let's go for the win. Get Scotty on, and he's almost got on the end of a great cross, which would have been great to go and get the win, and great for him. We got certainly some goal scorers onto the pitch. We probably just didn't maintain possession enough, and neither did they. I think both teams kept giving it each other back.
That's 7 games now, I think, unbeaten. It's about building momentum all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and we have to keep maintaining that. Building momentum. It's a big thing. Before we went into this period, we was told it was hard games, and we've come through that period unbeaten. Today's probably the first in the last 7 where we haven't deserved to win, because we deserve to certainly win all the rest.
37,000 here today, atrocious conditions. How impressed with that number in this?
Oh, unbelievable! It was horrendous today. I found that one of my jackets is probably not waterproof like I thought it was, but to have that many turn up today and be in their voice, and we didn't really get them off the seats as much as we have been doing, but we're certainly thankful for the support, and it's what I expect, because as I said the other week, Aston Villa fans are terrific.
We'll need them again next Sunday with another big game coming up.
Yeah, another one that we're looking forward to. Leeds United at home. Be close to a full house as well. They're a team that's up in the top 2 doing well, and ones that we believe we can beat.
Obviously, you'll be looking at these 2 players later in the week ahead of Leeds, but is there any update on Grealish or Adoma in terms of Leeds? No,
not really for Grealish. I'm expecting Adoma to come back. Probably expect Lansbury to be back as well. Jedinak. So we should have a few building up even beyond us as well. So, hopefully I'm sport for choice next week.
Cheers, Dave.